Welcome to Lions Live 365. I'm your host, Michael Ayers, and today we are breaking down Lions versus Eagles. I'm going to give you guys a preview and a blueprint for a Lions dub. One of the things that I'm looking forward to is telling everybody back home that we got this dub. I am from Philadelphia, spent probably like 21 of my 36 years of life there. So this is somewhat of a Super Bowl for me. I need this dub. I'm going to have people calling me from every which way, everywhere, high school, college, back in the day. Everybody's going to be calling me about this game, and I would like to have a talk about that Lions dub. One of the things I also wanted to talk about is how important this game is for us. If we win this game, that puts us in prime position to battle for the first seed. It puts us in prime position to win the NFC North because we maintain the lead that we have. We can build on that lead by beating the Packers on Thanksgiving, and it just puts us in a much better situation moving forward. So this is a big game. It's a way to battle test our team, and it's going to be with some added adversity. Now, talking about added adversity, like usual, one of our most common this is one of the most common things that adds adversity for the Detroit Lions is injuries. Sam LaPorta is ruled out. I don't know what happened with his back. Maybe it just tightened up after the game last Sunday, and we are out of having a tight end that is producing at a top 5 level in the league. We are out of Terrion Arnold. Kirby Joseph is still having issues with that knee. For what I understand, Meek Robertson is kind of like 50-50 on playing on Sunday. DJ Reed is most likely not going to play. And then the tackles, they're being really, really quiet about. So that's just a little concerning. But at the end of the day, we got to find a way to win. It's not about excuses. It's about getting that dub. Moving forward. On defense, we have shown pretty consistently that we have the ability to stop people from putting up points. Right now, we are 13th in points allowed. We are 7th in total yards. Third down, we are getting people off of the field. We are 7th in the league at getting guys off of the field. And then last but not least, we are 10th in takeaways. We're top 10 in takeaways. And one of the things that you'll notice when you look at these stats and these rankings, you see that our points allowed are significantly worse than our total yards, and it doesn't make sense. I want you guys to think about the games in which we've lost. We've had poor special teams in which they're starting drives on the 35. We've had some bad turnover games in which they are starting drives on the plus side of the field. And last but not least, we had the Chiefs game where they just shredded us. Can't really make any excuses for that, but that's just the reality. So as far as my concern about the defense, one of the things I definitely want to see is us getting more athletic bodies on the field. I know this is like a common theme if you watch my videos, but at the end of the day, you look at that Commanders game, we literally trotted out 3 defensive tackles. Tyler Lacey is listed as a defensive tackle. We trotted out Reader and Aleem and all the defensive tackles, and then we brought in Aiden. And that was just like, it was basically made it so that Aiden was the only guy that really had true ability to get to the quarterback and get to the quarterback quickly, and it made it so that we really didn't get pressure. But that wasn't the plan against the Commanders. They just wanted to make sure they couldn't run the ball, and that essentially just made it so that, Marcus Mariota had no chance of beating us. So that's just one of the things I wanted to talk about. Next, we're going to get to the offense. Offense, man, I feel like the offense statistically looks like one of the greatest offenses of all time. We second in points, we top 10 in everything, and I'm still a little concerned about the offense because one, we have a play caller that has literally been calling plays for This is literally going to be his second game. It's a big jump up in competition. It's a big jump up in a competitor as far as a coordinator wise in Vic Fangio. And we need to see that it wasn't a fluke. We just have to, right? But if you look at that game, man, against the Commanders, everything was great. We whooped up on a lot of bad teams. We whooped up on the Bucks, but even in that Bucks game, we didn't score at a prolific level. That was more of a team win. So for me, I'm a little concerned, but I'm gonna kind of break down the blueprint to winning this game. We're gonna start off with Dan Campbell, him calling plays in the offense, right? The Dan Campbell has a real responsibility to this game to make sure that we avoid disaster. How we avoid disaster? We get the run game going. We get the play action game going. We get the ball out quickly because at the end of the day, the Eagles, I don't care about what their statistics say because their statistics are awful. I don't know what's going on, how it's going on. When you look at those stats, that is not the level of team that is really going out there every Sunday. The weird thing about the Eagles right now is that they are literally playing just enough better than their competition to get the dub. That's literally it. They're not doing anything more, anything less. The other team got 7 points, we gonna get 10. The other team get 10, we'll get 14. It's just weird. So I don't pay attention to the stats. We have to make sure that we take care of the ball, we get the ball out, get our play action game going. We need a creative run scheme. We cannot just run straight at the Eagles, man. We got to have some variations, keep the motions. And Dan did all of that, added motion. He punished the Commanders for being aggressive without a plan. And that is all well and good. But the Commanders don't got no Jalen Carter. They do not have a Vic Fangio over there. They don't have none of that. So we're going to see whether or not that Commanders game was a fluke or if Dan with the frames is an elite offensive coordinator, and we're going to see it very quickly, right? We have to have a plan for the stunts, and we have to have elite offensive line communications. We cannot allow free runners to the quarterback. We cannot allow basic level stunts to completely destroy our game plan. We've let it happen before. We need this particular thing to be fixed at an extremely high level, okay? And then last but not least, Dan needs to get Adoree involved, okay? Adoree Jackson is the key to beating the Eagles. Every team that has had offensive success has made sure that Adoree Jackson was involved, okay? If you get Adoree Jackson involved, if you make it so that Jahad Campbell has to do more run responsibilities against real offensive linemen, not tight ends, you can have success. I don't have a problem targeting Jahad or Nakobe Dean in any type of run scheme, anything like that. We need hands on them though. If we allow them to flow to the running back, if you allow them to flow anywhere without being touched, they are an elite group. We need to make sure that you get hands on all of these people. Nolan Smith, get hands on him. You need hands on Jahad. You need hands on Nakobe. We cannot allow these guys to float to the ball. They're too fast, they're too athletic, and they are too good at their jobs to allow them to just run to the ball. We have to get offensive alignment in their way. We need to put hands on them. If you can put hands on them, you can move them. All right? And then, of course, we need to make sure Jalen Carter doesn't see the light of day. I don't want him anywhere near Jared Goff. Now, that would just be my plan. I'm sure Dan has thought of all of these things. He's a brilliant guy. But just remember, Adoree Jackson is your friend. He don't like tackling. He don't like covering. I don't know why he out there. So I'm with all of that. Now let's talk about what we got to do against two of the most annoying people to game plan for. First and foremost, Jalen Hurts is a problem. I don't care what anybody says. I don't understand how he's so polarizing. You're literally watching this man win games consistently. He's a good quarterback. He's different. He's unique. at the end of the day, he uses his elite athleticism to make up for his lesser processing power as far as making reads. He makes reads slowly. He completely understands his ability to throw the ball accurately is not at some super elite level. So what he does, he buys time, an inordinate amount of time, for his receivers to get wide open. Why if you can wait long enough for your receivers to get wide open, why would you throw something quickly or into tight windows when you could just escape, wait 8 seconds for somebody to get open and get 30, 40-yard passes? That's what he's doing. And then when they need him to be like a NFL great quarterback, then all of a sudden he does become that. Like the second half of the Rams game or any of the other games where you've seen him throw for 1,000,000 yards. Does this say he did the same thing in Super Bowl against the Chiefs? He looked like, who is this dude? Throwing everything. Dot, 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 dot. But what you need to do, you need to get the Eagles down. You need to put it in his hands, and you still need to be effective. You got to treat him like a real quarterback. People are literally, there are teams treating Jalen Hurts like Tim Tebow, and this ain't that, okay? He has one of the best deep balls in the league, and one of the worst things about him is that if you aren't disciplined in your rush lanes trying to get to him, that's like 20 yards rushing. Not for the game. I'm just talking about on that play. You mess up and you get undisciplined. Now he's out of the pocket. Now you got everybody chasing him. At this point, he's Doug Martin. And it's just wild. Like, bro, like the people act like, oh, he's a running back. Well, some his 5 worst plays, he might look like Ronnie Brown throwing the ball. His 5 best plays, you be looking like, what is that? How is he that great? Well, how is he capable of his 5 best plays looking that great and his 5 worst ones looking like Ronnie Brown throwing the ball? I don't know, but I just need my defense to understand you got to treat him like he's going to be his best self on every play. All right, teams get too confident. Teams and defensive coordinators get too confident because he's struggling, and all of a sudden he got a 250-yard passing half on you. Like, we don't got time for that. All right. The one thing that I noticed is that he does struggle with zone concepts, but unfortunately, we're not that good at running zone. So I don't know what our plan is going to be. I know he's much better against man. He's much harder to essentially keep him in the pocket when you're running man and kind of limit the damage when he gets out of the pocket. So or cover A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith when we're running man, because he's much better at understanding like where to go against man coverage. So with that being said, man, I'm really hoping that we can handle this, because I think Jalen Hurts is wildly underrated. And at the end of the day, man, it's going to be a tall task to stop him. Last but not least, we got to talk about this guy here, man. Dear Lord. I think this is one of the best running backs I've ever seen in real life. He had one of the best running situations that I've seen last year. Elite offensive line, but right now they're unhealthy. They're a little dinged up. They're not operating. Even when they're out there, they're not operating at their old level. So I'm hoping that still stays the case. And he's not getting these gaping holes, because we have no chance if Saquon Barkley is running around and they can get their play action, RPO, read option, all of that stuff. Just get all that going, it's a wrap. So hopefully we don't have to worry about that. He has elite vision, elite burst, great jump cut, one of the better running backs. We need to keep him under 80 yards for sure. I don't care how many touches he get. And that's really how I feel on it. I'm really hoping that Washington Commander game wasn't a fluke for Dan. I believe in him, but this is going to be a tall task in my opinion. This is a personal Super Bowl for me. I'm going to have people calling me from every which way if we lose, so I need this dub. You understand me? So, personally, final predictions, what I truly believe is going to happen, I believe it's going to be a higher scoring game than most. I see a lot of people thinking it's going to be 20-20. I think it's going to be like 28-35 or or 24-28, something like that. I believe we're going to get this dub. I think that we fully understand how important this game is. I think we can take advantage of how simple the defense they run is, even though it's very effective. It's definitely very simple. I think there are ways that we can handle that. I think we'll be able to stand up in pass pro. And anytime I believe that we can take care of things with pass protection, I know we're gonna get open. And I believe Adoree Jackson gonna be very involved in the night. And I just think Jameer's gonna get at least 100, 120. So I'm thinking, you know what? My final prediction will be 28-24 Lions. I believe we stay at top of the NFC North, and I think personally I want the second seed. I don't want no bye weeks, but I think we can end this particular season top 3 seed. We can make a real playoff run. But how I feel Super Bowl wise is completely dependent on how healthy we are. And that's how I feel on it, y'all. It's Lions Live 365. Please like and subscribe. Peace out.